drugs. There's no side effects. There's no surgery. There's no none of that stuff. You know what else? There's no pain, because I tried it. It works, got me out of pain. And I'm telling you, if you're experiencing any kind of pain right now, you need to call them at Pain Free Life Centers, okay? Because I can tell you from firsthand experience, this is the real deal. Tell them you're my listener, because my listeners get a decent discount. They get discount pricing. But Jeff Morton is so confident he's going to be able to help you. He even gives you not only your first consultation, but your first treatment totally free. And then the rest of them, like I say, are discounted as my listeners. So go ahead and call tonight, and you can leave a message, and they'll call you back tomorrow. Here's the number, 248-879-1100. That's 248-879-1100. Or you can just go online to painfreelifecenters.com.
We're in a fight for life that is incredible right now.
Barbaric and horrific. This is the New York State's law on unrestricted abortion. No protection for the unborn child. And not only they passed it, they celebrated it. Zero protection. Used to have personhood protection.
Right.
Now they don't.
That is now all completely repealed.
All right, so we are testing the live stream here.
This is a fight that you're going to have to be engaged in. It's already a long-term struggle. It is not over.
Hear Jay Secular live every weekday at noon on AM 1200 WMUZ, the Salt of Detroit. Now, listening to WMUZ is as easy as saying, Alexa, play WMUZ.
If I play WMUZ, will you finally get over here and dust me?
All right.
Okay, playing WMUZ.
Standing tall for the values you cherish. This is WMUZ 1035 The Light, Detroit made, Bible strong.
We're going to talk right now about the book of Hebrews and what we can learn.
Right, so we're testing the live stream.
Jesus Christ from the book of Hebrews. We're going to talk about this with Paul.
Looks like it's making it through. This is not the interview that will start in about 25 minutes.
The Apostle Paul's letter.
Just want to make sure that we are.
He also runs spiritual fitness program at spiritualfitnessprogram.
That you can hear. If you could just leave a comment, if you're watching this right now, if you could leave a comment that you are.
Thank you for having me on the show today. It's a real honor to be here.
Well, thank you, sir. Very happy to have you. First, before we even start talking
if you can
about
hear
what we can
audio
learn about
on here,
Jesus and understanding Melchizedek, and it's going to be so confusing for people.
Just let us know.
There's even a debate about
if you can post a GTG in the comments.
Off of the premise that Paul wrote Hebrews, and I think most of us tend to assume. I mean, honestly, my best guess is if I were forced to bet money, then I would say, yeah, it's probably Paul that wrote Hebrews, but it's not 100% sure. Paul didn't put his name on Hebrews the way that he did all of his other epistles that he wrote. So how solid should we be that this is in fact Paul?
Well, it's a good question, and one we all think about. You know, I think of Philippians chapter 3, where this same Apostle Paul calls himself a Hebrew of Hebrews.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of alone makes me think, well, who would write a book called A Letter to the Hebrews other than the Hebrew of Hebrews? I also look at the nature of the book, and, you know, there's no debate, say, that Paul wrote the epistle to the Romans, right? Well,
right.
The Hebrews follows that same process. It starts with the introduction, gets into a subject, reaches pinnacle, provides an exhortation, provides some practical application, and then an end. And it is the exact same format of all of Paul's other books. So I kind of think that, to me, having debated it in my own mind like we all do, I sort of have come to the conclusion that he did write it. So I would agree with you. If I had to bet my last dime, I would bet it on him.
Yeah, well, and to me, a really big argument, too, that Paul wrote it is 2 Peter 3:15, where Peter, talking to the Hebrews, tells them, Paul also wrote to you, which means yes. Peter is pretty much saying there is a letter to the Hebrews written by Paul somewhere. And so, it doesn't have to be the book of Hebrews as we know it. The theology is certainly consistent with Paul's teaching. But I understand that you get people to say, yeah, the writing style, though, is a little bit different. It's a little bit more sophisticated of a style of writing than Paul tends to use. And so, I mean, but
let me ask you a question
I'm kind of with you. I lean toward it's got to be Paul.
Yeah, you know, in that argument about it's a little bit of a different type of
Hey, Anthony, I don't know if it matters, but I can hear
it's the only book in the Bible that's focused on this one subject
feed
of Melchizedek.
like live and the delay.
Because of that, by nature, it would have a
So
little bit of different language
Bob
in it,
and the
you would
listener.
Really?
are,
What
like,
do you mean?
kinda
How?
talking
What do you
over
mean you
each
hear the
other.
delay? Look, what are you
Again,
hearing?
that's
Let me
more
know what you're hearing so we try to figure it out.
This is written by the
Right now,
original
Bob
than
Duco
it is
and
evidence that it might not
the
have been. But that's
caller are talking at the
Okay,
same
and
time.
I think
So
that's a very fair take. I do. So help us understand Melchizedek, and I know that this is another thing that's debated as well. You can get a bunch of Bible scholars in the room, and some of them are going to say that Melchizedek was in fact an actual real king, okay, or a priest rather.
I wonder why. That is pretty weird. But I mean, I won't be feeding anything once the show starts. You'll just hear your own feed. But that is weird. I wonder why it's doing that. Has it been doing that the whole time? Hold on, let me try something. I'm gonna try something and see what happens here. Okay, hold on.
Himself in a pre-incarnate.
Okay, now you don't
we
hear
just
anything, right?
Hold on, Jamie. I hear Bob only. I don't hear the caller.
Wow, I'm surprised. Like, you shouldn't even hear Bob. I'm surprised you even hear Bob. We shouldn't even be feeding anything. That's surprising me.
Okay.
So right now it just sounds normal, right?
I hear.
Like right now you just hear the caller, right?
I don't hear the caller. I hear myself talking to you from about 30 seconds ago. No.
Wow, I wonder why it's doing that. I'm not like right now I'm not feeding anything. That is really weird.
Now I just hear you talking to me 30 seconds ago, and then like now. Right now it's just you and me. Jamie, I see you on Zoom. No, I don't hear the caller. I don't know if you're asking me live or if I'm hearing your question from. I can't tell if it's you talking to me live, Anthony, or if it's a recording from before. All right.
So I was in my pajamas and I changed my shirt at least.
Okay, let me do this here.